So I've been having fun today observing some material mind insights. So we usually talk about spirit mind insights, but the material mind has insights too. The difference is that sometimes the material mind is kind of adding its own flavor or its own story. So it seems like I had an insight about something is actually just the material mind making up a story about something, which is what it does. That's what we need our material mind for, is kind of filling in the blanks and making up stories when we don't have information. So in this particular case, this morning I was working on a little house design. We're doing a remodel, and I just had another idea. So I'm just sketching it out, spent some time, and I was really excited about it. And I told Hisami, like, oh, I have another idea I want to show you. And she said, again? Like, when will you stop working on it? And I was kind of hurt. I was kind of like, oh, sounds like she's saying I'm bad in some way, and instead of being excited with me. And so I asked her, and she said, oh, well, we already told them that we're done with the design and we're kind of moving on to the next stage. So if you have new ideas, you want to email them real soon. So that made sense. But still, part of me was feeling like hurt, right? Like she had kind of lashed out. And the funny thing is, so this is where the material mind insight came in. I had this idea that as I kind of sat with it, I didn't say anything emotionally to her. I just said, okay, I just noticed, oh, my emotions got triggered. I'm just going to, make a little breakfast and kind of chill out and wait for it to pass. When the emotions pass, kind of the story about she did this or blah, 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 or she might have been thinking that, like, as it calmed down, I got what felt like a really deep insight. It's like, oh, this sounds a little bit like her mom. When Hisami was young and she'd be excited about something, her mom would shut her down in some way. And she said that, just as a pattern that she'd had lots. And I thought, oh, maybe that's probably repeating now. So she's probably shutting me down because she got shut down. And like I said, it felt very insightful. It wasn't actually true, but it felt very insightful. One of the keys to noticing when it's a material mind insight rather than spirit mind insight is it's about somebody else, right? I'm feeling really insightful about why other people said something to me, rather than feeling insightful about why I was getting triggered and why I was sensitive. So kind of fun. So later, we had to take our dog into the vet for a little checkup, and we're walking, and I notice Isami doesn't have a jacket. I say, oh, why didn't you bring a jacket? It's really cold. She's like, well, we're just walking for 2 minutes here, and I've got an umbrella, and it's no problem. And then she said, oh, why didn't you bring an umbrella? And I said, oh, because I have a hat on, and it's just one more thing to carry, and it's not raining very hard. But again, I felt like the same material mind was giving me information like, oh, look, now she's kind of doing tit for tat. Like, I asked why she doesn't have a jacket. Maybe she felt a little bad. So then she barked back with, why don't you have an umbrella? And like, it felt like that's what was going on, right? And this, again, I wasn't saying anything. I was just observing. My material mind was observing and filling in the blanks, kind of making up a story. So 10 minutes later, we're sitting there and I finally realize, oh, none of this is real. What's real is that I'm feeling really sensitive today. I don't know why. Oh, interesting. Oh, maybe I'll check that out. And just having that, finally getting into that spirit mind space and having that insight really changed things. And very different from the material mind insight that's kind of making stuff up. Oh, and I realized something else just after I turned off the recorder there. So I'm going to add a little extra here. That the things that I felt were insightful that weren't real actually were just misunderstood. It's not that they weren't real, but I was applying them outside to somebody else rather than applying them inside to myself. So let me kind of break that down. So when I got the insight that, oh, Hisami is responding in some way out of some old pain that she's carrying, and that's why she's responding this way, that was about me. So that was actually my spirit mind giving me that information that, oh, I'm getting triggered right now because of my past, just like that's why we always get triggered, right? But my material mind, because it was so active, was interpreting that, was kind of intercepting that information and then saying, this isn't about me, this is about that other person. This is what we call projection, right? So the insight is real, but we've failed to notice that it's about us rather than the other person. So we put it on them. Same thing happened when we were walking with the umbrella, and Hisami said, why don't you have an umbrella? And I thought, oh, she's really sensitive today. So when I ask something like, why don't you have a coat? She hits back with, why don't you have an umbrella? Which isn't like her. She's never been like that in the whole time we've been married. So why I would think she's like that today, I think that'd be a clear indication that, oh, it's not real. But I just thought, oh, she's really sensitive. That's why. But the truth was, oh, I'm really sensitive. That's why a simple question like, why don't you have your umbrella, triggered me. Normally I would just answer, just like Isami did. But I was feeling really sensitive. So in both cases, that the spirit mind was giving me a clear insight of what's happening, but I couldn't see that it was about me. My material mind was focused externally, and so I was applying that insight where it doesn't belong to the people around me. Kind of fun.